Hello, optimists, and welcome to another episode of Your BS. That's Your Best Self. I'm your host, Marcos Mendosa, and as you guys just saw, you saw the bio pack for Shah Emily Noaman, the creator of the 3Shahs line and the owner of Bask Gift Boutique. What a fabulous collection that she has created. And to my left, of course, the lovely Shah is here in studio with me. How are you today?
Good. How are you?
Very good. Thank you very much for being here. Now, as we saw in the bio pack, you have your store there, Bask Gift Boutique, and you started this incredible line of jewelry called 3Shahs. Can you tell us a little bit about what that is all about?
The 3Shahs line started about 15 years ago as a hobby of mine, and I became very passionate about it. I've always been fascinated with colors and textures, and so it's something that I started to do for fun, and then it developed into a business.
Amazing. And I noticed underneath your logo, it says boho chic, locally crafted, and what was the other one? It says limited edition.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about the inspiration behind the actual boho chic limited edition and naturally locally crafted titles.
Yeah, sure. So we have many collections under the 3Shahs, and they either are bohemian or very chic and black tie based. So that's why we call it boho chic, because you could either wear it casually or you could dress it up for a cocktail event.
Awesome. Now, I know that you've led you've had an interesting journey towards becoming your best self, specifically since you and your family emigrated from Shiraz, Iran, down, up here to Canada. And I'm guessing that you must have had really different experiences growing up, and it must have been strange for you and your family. I wanted to know if you recall some of the challenges that you were faced with growing up earlier on in your life. Like, what were the support systems that made you adapt to your new lifestyle, and what motivated you to decide, you know what, I'm going to start the 3Shahs?
That's a great question. Growing up, something that was always stable in my life was my parents and my sister. We were always together no matter what. We did have to travel quite a bit to get to Canada, and it was a wonderful journey. There were, of course, ups and downs and uncertainties, but we're here now, and it's a country where you can do anything you'd like.
So I'm guessing pretty much it was all family-based, the inspiration, the motivation. They kept you grounded, and they
Definitely
potentially made you feel like you're capable of doing anything that you wanted to. Which I would assume that with them making the decision to come from Iran to Canada, they must have felt that kind of drive and inspiration and motivation in themselves to actually make that kind of a transition, right? So obviously that's going to come and rub off onto their children as well. So
yeah, definitely. I mean, I can't even imagine what it would be like to leave everything behind, including your careers and family, and go to a foreign country where you don't even speak the language very much, all for freedom. It's
incredible. It's a great story. Now in Canada, there's many people who have actually done the same thing. As we know, we live in this super multicultural city, and there's a lot of people who land here searching for opportunities. But when it's time to actually go and get those opportunities and mold the lifestyle that you created in your mind when you were leaving your homeland, people don't even know where to look. And I'd like to know if you can tell us some of the goals that you set out for yourself before you started the line. As a young up-and-coming entrepreneur, I'm sure that you had ideas or some sort of inspiration, something that must have motivated you to, maybe you had a journal where you wrote down your ideas. I just want to know the driving force behind the inspiration that led you to feel that you could be the eloquent designer that you are today.
Oh, wow. Well, to be honest with you, I didn't know that I'd be doing this. I remember when I was about 12 years old, I wanted to be a dentist, and I had a toothbrush collection. I always had an entrepreneurial spirit. I used to have a candy store when I was younger and sell candies to my friends as well. It was a passion, Like I mentioned, I started to make jewelry when I was in my teens, and it was just something that I really enjoyed doing, and it just developed into a career because I pursued my passion.
And as I was doing my research, I studied that you opened up a dry cleaning service before the actual gift boutique.
Yes,
Tell us
that's
about
correct.
that.
Yeah, so that was a stepping stone. I did that because it was a business that I was familiar with. My father has a dry cleaning store as well. So I had worked there growing up, and I decided to open up my own, so saved some money. And once I opened that one up, I saved more money to open up my second store, which was my gift boutique and tanning salon combination. And I sold the 3Shahs line there, as well as to other stores too.
Awesome. Now, the inspiration for your company's name, 3Shahs, there might be people who are wondering, there might be a community that actually knows what Shah means, and some people may not. I'm curious about, you know, where the name come from, specifically because what I read was that the name, the 3 represented the first letter of each name of the 3 women in your immediate, the 2 women in your immediate family. So your mother, your sister, and yourself, all 3 names starting with the letter S, right? So 3 Shahs, that's the 1, 2, and 3. Shah meaning king, and 3 being represented as, like I said, the first letter of each member of your family's immediate name, right? I'd like to know a self-proclaimed definition of king based on your opinion, because after all, who says a woman cannot be a king?
Yes, so that's correct. The beginning of all 3 of our names starts with Shah, and that's why we decided to abbreviate it and name it the 3Shahs line. In regards to my definition of king, you know, I'm really an activist for equality amongst human beings. And although a king seems to hold a superior title to other people and is a man, in regards to who says women can't be kings, it's no matter what gender you are, what background, upbringing you had, we're all really essentially the same. At our hearts, you know, although we are different in that we've had different lifestyles, essentially we all have the basic needs that need to be met. And being a king to me is being equal and treating everybody equally.
Right. So not that anybody's really under you, but everybody's balanced at the same respect and the same level of contribution to this global awakening, global movement, as we are one, living in unity.
Exactly.
The word unity is in community.
Yeah.
Right. So
and
that's
also, in regards to the jewelry line, you know, who says you can't get glammed up and still have a good heart, you know? So being glamorous or dressing like royalty and having fun with it while still being equal.
Nice. That's a great definition. I was actually really curious about that because the name 3Shahs is what stood out to me the most.
Yeah,
What
sometimes
is a
people
Shah?
think that it has something to do with the Shah of Iran or politics. My family and I are definitely not political. We're just spiritual people who believe in equality and being good to people. So it's nothing to do with politics.
Awesome. Now let's talk a little bit about Bask Gift
Sure.
Boutique. As you mentioned, it started off as a tanning salon and a gift boutique. Now, I'm sure there's many people watching right now that are your clientele, and many people who haven't had the chance to actually visit your one-of-a-kind store yet. Tell us about the moment when Shah said, you know what? Mom, Dad, I'm going to do this. Let's do it. What kind of thoughts were running through your head? Because, like I said, coming from another country and being new to the lifestyle here, I'd like to know something. Maybe you could tell us one of your secrets. Like, what drove you? What was your inspiration? You know, to make that decision to say, I'm going to do this. Was it based on your parents and the way that they adored the work that you were already creating? Was it your siblings who were saying, you know, sis, you make great stuff. You should start your own store. You know, like what was the actual driving force behind all of it?
I guess the driving force partly had to do with I like to have nice things. You know, growing up we didn't have a whole lot of toys because we moved around a lot. And I like to provide for myself. So I knew that I'd have to come up with some sort of venture that enabled me to do that. So that's the driving force behind me being an entrepreneur. Determination, independence. And in regards to Bask Boutique, I had worked at a tanning salon years ago when I was a teenager as well. And it was a fairly easygoing business. And I knew that if I teamed it up with a boutique in the front end, it would do well. And it's been a great 5 years. End of January, my 5-year lease is up. So we're going to be closing the doors for 2 reasons. One, I have a herniated disc, and the work hours that I used to work, I can't anymore. So I have to reduce my hours. And 2, unfortunately, in small businesses, often it happens where the landlord increases your rent. In my case, it's been doubled, and it's not something that I'd like to renew.
Right.
So right now, everything is actually up to, a minimum of 40% off. So feel free to pop in before the end of January and take advantage of that.
That's amazing. And she actually mentioned to me before the show that if you guys wanted to know, since the store is going to be closing, you guys can actually go to www.3shahs.com right now and enter promo code yourBS, that's YOURBS, to receive a special 15% off of the products that are on the website. So now, this is something that's really important to me based on my contribution to the world, that I like to consider myself a global contributor to allowing people to become their best self, motivating people to become their best self. You have been a global contributor through your acts of philanthropy. I'd like to know what's next for the 3Shahs in 2013? We're coming to the end of the year. I've seen that you've done, I think, 2 or 3 events this year alone, for the Canadian Breast Cancer Foundation, and you've been really generous in starting up these events and contributing to events that allow awareness and funds to be raised so that people can give back and help each other out to live a balanced life. What can we expect from the 3Shahs in terms of philanthropy for the year 2013?
In regards to the work that I do, giving back, it's really a selfish act that's selfless. I really gain a lot from that, whether it's making new friends, having new team members to work with, giving back to a great cause. What we're going to be doing in 2013 is continuing that, and I always like to support different causes, whether it's for the Canadian Breast Cancer Foundation, Scribble Me Silly, which is a nonprofit organization for kids and their mothers. I'm not sure exactly which foundation or nonprofit I'll be contributing to this year, but you can definitely rest assured that it'll be something or another.
That's great. Like I caught myself in that moment as you explained it, just kind of my energy dropped a little bit just thinking about the events that you did do this year and the seriousness of the events, because although it's all coming from a good place, there are some serious things going on in the world. So the fact that we can have an independent entrepreneur contributing is something that I think that is really great, especially to allowing us all to create a balanced lifestyle, because that balanced lifestyle is crucial to the betterment of your health and everybody living a prosperous life in terms of good health and well-being. Now, I wanted to take a second.
I just want to say that it's something that we all should strive to do, whether it's a small step like going to a shelter and helping hand out food or organizing an event. If we all take a little part in this, it's going to make a huge difference. And there's no difference between myself and anyone else. It's just really a passion and effort behind it. To be driven, we can all do it.
Yeah, well, since you mentioned that, the fact that Gandhi said, be the change you wish to see in the world, and I think a lot of people are awakening now. December 12th just passed, December 21st is coming up. A lot of people have their higher consciousness that's tapping in, and they're really aware that there is some sort of a global shift happening right now. And with what Shah just said, if we can all learn to understand that when you find the happiness within yourself, when you find good health within yourself and peace and balance within yourself, it resonates to everything that's around you. So the universal change that we all aspire to have, which is peace and love and joy shared amongst everybody, once you treat yourself like that, this is what I've been learning, is that once you treat yourself like that, that rubs off on other people, and that's how people and circumstances and events around you change, because the influence that you're providing for other people is the influence that everybody catches off your energy, because everything is vibration and we're all resonating at different frequencies, but the same idea that we all want what's good, right?
Yeah,
so
definitely.
It's really
universal
important.
Energy.
It's a universal energy. Like she said, contribute selflessly. It's not selfish. It may be selfish to want to contribute so much, and that's a good kind of selfishness. So definitely check out 3Shahs.com to read her about section and know the acts of philanthropy that she's been involved with. Now, I want to talk a little bit about this piece that we have here. This is one of your pieces from your collection. What's the title of this one?
So this one is part of the yacht collection, and it's a Sea Voyager. And the material that I can see in this one is faceted white onyx, mother of pearl, some agate, some glass, rubber, acrylic, again some more mother of pearl. This is a midnight gold sand. Polka dot crystal.
It's a great piece. It's very eclectic. It's got so much diversity. It's got so many different pieces on it. I'm guessing that it gets longer, right, when you open it up?
So you're able to wear it long or double it up and wear it short like we had it. And some stylists have used it as a chunky layered bracelet, so you could definitely do that as well.
It's fantastic. It's got so much colors to it. I can imagine wearing that on a yacht.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Thank you.
So there you have it, guys. One of the products from the 3Shahs jewelry line. I have Shah Emily Noaman to my left, and you guys are watching Your Best Self. I would like to say thank you to everybody who decided to watch the show today. We're going to be moving on to the second segment of the show, which is my favorite, the demonstration, where you guys are going to see more products that Shah has to offer and actually get to enter that promo code that I mentioned earlier on, yourBS, into the website at 3Shahs.com, and you get your 15% off discount off the products just for watching today. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you for being on the show.
Thank you for having me.
An absolute pleasure. And we will see you guys in a little bit.